Islam, Islam, Islam. I give praise to Allah, honor to His holy prophet, noble Jew Ali, who is my leader, my teacher, and my brother, man. I love the prophet, noble Jew Ali. I love the prophet, noble Jew Ali so much more. I mean, I have to love him as far as I'm concerned, because whenever I think about, life and, my life in particular, where I've been, where I'm at, and where I'm headed to, it's all because of the prophet noble Jew Ali that, I'm not screaming insane right now, or somewhere locked up still, or somewhere, very 6 feet deep on to a new life, because this physical life only ends when it's finished, when it's done, when when what we was called to do and why we came here has actually been fulfilled, And until I discover my purpose, or until anyone discovers their purpose and actually start making headway on fulfilling that purpose, then life technically has not yet begun. And it wasn't until, me coming into the knowledge of the prophet noble Jew Ali and Moorish Science that, I started to actually see some progress, for real, until I started to actually see. Like real talk, I was blind, and I remember being blind, and how I can remember is because now when I look out and I see so much, I hear so much, I sense so much of the world and the universe around me and the people, who I share this space with, I'm so consciously aware that they're actually there now in more than, a carnal way. Like, they're not just there, for me to touch and to laugh with and to, just interact with on the surface, but, in a more deeply, spiritually way, we actually share spirit, the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America teaches us that by the sweet breath of Allah, all life is bound in one, and I can actually feel that, whereas there was a time, man, when, I didn't feel no connections to nobody, I didn't really feel no connections to nothing, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. If you ever turn within and couldn't find anything to hold on to, and you probably made the statement, man, I don't give a freak about this life, I don't care about this, I ain't got nothing to lose, that's when that sensing of life around you has been disconnected. I used to give Morris this example. When we go into dilapidated or, worn down structures, apartment buildings or houses, come on, y'all, we from the ghetto, so, there's plenty of abandoned buildings on our blocks, we all seen them before. But, when you go inside of those abandoned buildings, you start to see the walls and stuff falling apart, everything start falling apart, wood and stuff start rotting away, and all of this type of thing. And have you ever thought to yourself, like, what actually causes this structural corruption? Like, why is these things falling apart? And the fact is, they're falling apart because they're not interacting with other living things. Like, if people live there, like, you got buildings and houses and apartments and structures that people just walk around and live in, all day, every day. Like, it's people there all the time, and they actually don't receive any more maintenance than the buildings where people don't live, and yet they're not falling apart. But then when you go inside of the places or the dens where people are, doing drugs and dealing in all types of, wickedness and, that type of thing, then that same type of corruption that happened where there is an absence of life, it starts to happen, because in essence, there is an absence of life when you have people inside of these places that are actually killing themselves, so for me, not having the prophet noble Jew Ali in my life, for all of those years, that's what it was. This physical body was falling apart. I was 20-some years old. I had all types of health issues. I'm talking about my lungs was failing, my heart was bad. I mean, real talk. Like, the Mo was doing bad. I was doing real bad. And now, here it is, 20-some years later, and me being in my mid-40s, and I don't have any of these type of problems no more, because the prophet noble Jew Ali has taught me how to think and grow healthy. I've learned that health calleth her forth to show her loveliness, talking about the soul. And I love to express myself. I've been like that my whole life, you know, like I was one of them youngsters. I grew up rapping, I grew up performing in talent shows, you know. I always was on, you know, on front line on any type of circumstance, whatever we was on, you know. I had no issue with being out front, you know. I had no issue with, you know, leading the charge, or, you know, or whatever the case may be. You know, I like people, I like to express myself, you know. So I need to be healthy in order to do that. And since I know that now, because the Prophet Noble Drew Ali has taught me that, I've learned how the process of mentally healing myself, you know, the true aspect of health is, you know, the pillars of Islam. You know, first and foremost, recognizing that there is a oneness, that the universal Allah is one, yet he is more than one. All things are one. So there is a oneness that is different than, you know, having a single unit, but having a single machine. That's what we are. We are a machine, and we are all, you know, this particular machine that we are, the Moorish Science Temple of America. It is moving in one direction, and it has a very specific purpose, this machine, you know. And then, you know, we talk about prayer. You know, that keeps us into the remembrance of Allah. It keeps us connected with the individual who has given the order, because Allah is the governor of the world. Allah is the one who has given the order for us to go out and to uplift all of humanity. Allah is the one who tells each and every last minister, you know, to go inside of the Moorish Science Temple of America and minister to the needs of the individuals who the Prophet Noble Drew Ali is driving through them doors that you must keep open. You know, because individuals is coming through them doors and they have all types of issues. That's why they there. They think their conditions could be better. They not coming through the door because they think they got it all together. They coming through the doors because they need us, you know. And Allah, you know, that, you know, praying, you know, that keeps us connected with He who will empower us to actually be able to help these individuals who need us. You know, and you can't help nobody if you yourself ain't in a good position. You got to be in a good position to be able to help an individual. You understand me? So stand into the remembrance of Allah and staying one with Allah, staying connected with Allah. That's what keeps us, you know, with a healthy circumstance. You know, and fasting. Let me tell y'all something about fasting. You know, fasting is difficult for a lot of people. It's really difficult because they really don't understand what they doing and why they doing it. So let me break it down for y'all. The body, this physical thing that our spirit and our soul uses, okay, to interact with all other physical things. It needs energy, okay? So therefore, we take in food, we metabolize the food, we burn these calories, and we convert these calories into energy. And then we use this energy to express ourselves, to get the mission of accomplishing our thoughts in our minds. That's how we convert this food into this energy for that purpose. Man has two selves. He has a higher self and a lower self. Now, both of these selves, they are fighting for preeminence within the body, within this physical body. They want control of this body, okay? Therefore, they are both, the higher self and the lower self, fighting for those calories that we intake, because they need to convert the energy to get their purpose. The lower self, it needs energy, and the higher self, it needs energy. So now, in this world where we live at, where everybody is just, you know, overeating, because we are overeating, especially in the United States of America, because there is an abundance of food. Okay, so since everyone is overeating, there is an abundance of energy available in the body for the higher self and the lower self. So now they're striving. Remember the Quran in chapter number 7, it says that man is the truth and falsehood strangely mixed. So truth and falsehood are conjoined in him, and then they strive. So this striving is this fighting, this battle over these calories, this energy. All right. So now when we start fasting, what happens is we limit the amount of energy that is available. So now the fight is a fight of will. So if you can call your will to the energy and have your will to take that energy away from the lower self and to deny the lower self the energy that it is trying to get so that it can command the body, then now the lower self, it can't command the body. All right? So when we start doing the demonstration of fasting And we fasting for Allah. Remember, we say we fasting for Allah. Why are we fasting for Allah? Because we want to take this body away from the lower self and give it to Allah for His purpose. All right? We want to give it to Allah to serve His good. So when we do that and we keep constantly doing that, what the Quran say? It says that thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. And man is a thought of Allah. So in fasting, we are exercising strength. And the more we fast, the more powerful we become. All right? So for a person to know and to understand why fasting is important, it makes the process so much easier, way easier as a matter of fact, because now it becomes an essential thing that you need to do so that you can overcome the overwhelming lower self that will then take it, because that lower self, it'll get you into all type of stuff. And you know what? See, some of us, we don't mind being in stuff. I know that's how I used to be. I'm like, okay, you know what? I will suffer the consequences of my own actions. But you know what I don't want to suffer? I don't want to suffer seeing my loved ones suffer the consequences of my actions. All right? I don't want to see that. That's something that I can't stomach. I can't deal with it no more. Not at this place in my life. You know, when I was a younger person, before meeting the Prophet Noble Jew Ali and learning to think, because he said, if I can get my people to think, then they will save themselves. You know, so now that I am a thinker and I think about the people who I love, no, I can't do it. So it's important for me to demonstrate fast, and it's important for me to always maintain my control over the vessel. All right. And then something else happened, because we got to know in the Moorish Science Temple of America, we have the chemistry of mortal life, the ministry of death, and the mystery of deific life. And this is what we get into when we start becoming stronger. Because the Quran talks about my flesh being raised to higher tone. It's being raised to a higher tone. And that's when we become the message that we bring. We are deliverers of truth. That's what our people need more than anything. Yes, I need finances, and I need it badly. Never before have I needed finances so badly, but never before has the Asiatics in America needed truth so badly. Truth is needed more than anything else. More than anything else. You know what form truth takes? Sometimes it's just a hug. Sometimes it's just I hear you, I understand, we will overcome. That's the truth. The truth is that, yeah, we are suffering. The truth, yeah, the suffering is real. But guess what? There is also a real solution, a very real solution. There is a path to happiness, and we have to show our people, place our people on the path to happiness, because right now they scattered abroad. We are so far disconnected away from those who are not members of the Moorish Science Temple of America that the Moorish Science Temple of America has become impotent when it comes to actually fulfilling its purpose. So therefore, we have to come together and then bring the people together. And you know, it ain't about sounding good. It ain't about going out and grabbing hands. It's about reaching out and touching individuals and letting them feel the energy. Because remember, I talked about them abandoned buildings that start to fall apart because there's no one living there. And if somebody was living there, then they would maintain their structural integrity. And that's what's happening with our people. The structural integrity of the Asiatics in America is falling apart because it's being corrupted by absence of life. Okay? So this is what our people need. They need to see, they need to hear, they need to have all of their five senses interact with truth. With truth. Okay? So this is what I want to do. I know that without a doubt or a contradiction, a lot of my old comrades, y'all come to my pages, y'all listen to what I got to say, and y'all waiting. All right? Nah, y'all ain't waiting like the haters do, because that ain't something we ever was. We never was haters. Y'all waiting to see that if I have actually really discovered what we need. Okay? Because I know, just like I got tired years ago of being out there in the streets, running mad, getting high, doing all of that nonsense, you tired too. And you trying to see if I have actually discovered the true way out. Yes, I did. Absolutely, I did. Come to the Moorish Science Temple of America, man. I'm telling you. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. When I say come to the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Moorish Science Temple of America needs you just as much as you need it. And I definitely need my old comrades. I need my family. I need my real friends to help me in this mission of fulfilling the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's divine plan for the ages. Okay, I just want to put that out there. Now, I also want to say to anybody who might hear this, if I have ever offended you intentionally or by accident, I send my sincere apologies. Sincerely, I apologize. I am so sorry. And if you will call me, I will not ask you what I did to you. I will not try to justify my actions. I will not. I will just do whatever and say whatever I can to make you know that I am sorry and I want to move on away from that space where there is a disconnect between I and any of my brothers and my sisters. Okay? I apologize. All right? The most important thing to me, Maurice Pennington Bey, the most important thing is seeing this mission of uplifting fallen humanity done and done right. Okay? That's it. That's it. And it cannot be done, and it cannot be done right when we have strife and when we have issue with one another. All right? This is something that I know and understand completely. All right? So, yeah, they done put the Mo back in the halfway house. Consequences of, you know, being who and what I am. It is what it is. That's what comes with the territory. You know, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali speaks to us about sacrifice. And it's a sacrifice, you know. And, hey, it is what it is. Peace and love, y'all. You know, grand risings, kings and queens, Moors, Moabs and Moabites, Asiatics. Allah loves you. I love you. You know, let's love one another. You know, let's get the job done. Peace and love.